What's your reaction to the video taken by Jeanette Finicum that was released yesterday?
Well, I think it provides some clarity on their motives and what their intent was. Their intent was to get to John Day, and they kept yelling that they wanted to go see the sheriff in the neighboring county for protection, and I think that clearly is stated in that video.
What do you have to say about what do you have to say about the fact that officials are saying that your husband was saying, go ahead and shoot?
Well, I believe that after he had been shot at multiple times, that was his reaction to that. The truck had been shot at by law enforcement officers. The FBI, they said at least 3 times that they have bullets accounted for. However, we do hear shots in the audio as he is driving along the road, and as when they come to stop in the snow, you hear more shots as he is exiting the vehicle. So I believe that that's why he was saying, go ahead and shoot me.
Was this the first time you'd had an opportunity to see that video?
Shauna Cox's video? Yes.
So as far as, we've asked a little bit about your reaction to it and everything, but I assume it must have also been kind of difficult for you to see your husband in his last moments there as well.
It has been very difficult to see that played over and over again from all the different angles, perspectives, and such. I've had to just walk away from it at times, but I did need to see the information so I knew how to answer questions. Yes?
There's a report of there being a total of 8 shots fired, 6 by law enforcement, 2 by FBI, which is still being investigated. Is there a count of shots that you have by your investigation?
I don't have a total number of count of the shots that may or may not have been fired. However, Shauna and those remaining in the truck were continuously fired upon after my husband was killed. What type of bullet they were using, to me, that's inconsequential. I mean, they were in fear for their life. They felt that they were being shot at with lead bullets, you know, and so what they were thinking in the moment is important as well. I believe, too, nothing was ever mentioned in yesterday's briefing about the bullet that Ryan Bundy took in the arm.
Now, stemming off of his question, there's a reason those 2 FBI agents being investigated for allegedly not mentioning those shots fired. Any comment on that?
It makes you wonder what other truths are being left out of this investigation. And again, when the police investigate the police, it leaves one to question.
When you talk about the concern about justice being done when one law enforcement agency is investigating another law enforcement agency, obviously you're planning a lawsuit in front of an impartial jury, hoping to get justice in that way. I guess I just have the question, though, too, on the front end, if you can't trust a different law enforcement agency to investigate another law enforcement agency, who would be appropriate to investigate?
Well, my attorneys have investigators that they have hired, and we will be doing our own independent investigation. And that's probably what I'll feel comfortable with.
Jeanette, do you guys have what are you going to be asking for in that lawsuit?
My attorneys will get with me on that, and when I have a good, clear answer for you, I'll get back to you with that. Thank you.
Who's representing you?
Fred Kelly Grant, attorney at law, and he is from Idaho.
I guess my question is to the rest of the family here, if you're willing to talk, that's fine, but what's your reaction to the video, and what was said in that video? If you'd like to talk, go ahead. I just was curious about your thought.
Would you like to say something?
You mean Shauna Cox's video?
Oh, yes.
It just impressed on my mind how the FBI and the Oregon State Police are still leaving facts out. They're still hiding certain evidence, and my dad, I still believe 100% is innocent, and they shot him in cold blood.
Can you give us your name?
I'm Brittany Beck.
And I'm Tara Tenney, and the only thing that I would like to say is that he was murdered, and it was not necessary.
I do have one observation from a member of the panel yesterday made the statement that when people feel like their lives are threatened, it justifies the use of lethal force. I'm just curious why they figured that applied to them and not to my brother.
Exactly.
Go ahead and give us your name, sir, just for...
Yeah. My name is Guy Finicum.
Usually in these cases, they call for a coroner's inquest. Have you asked for a copy of the autopsy, and will you request a coroner's inquest? Because that's usually what happens in these types of cases.
My attorney is in the process of requesting all the information, not just the coroner's report. We also have had an independent coroner autopsy done, which when my attorney is ready, we will be releasing that information to you as soon as possible.
Jeanette, I was at a meeting last night with Chris Stewart, whereas it was a town hall meeting, and one of the audience members got up and spoke and said that there's been a lot of FBI at your home. Is that correct? I mean, are you seeing a lot of law enforcement out there?
No, the FBI have not personally been at my home. I have seen drones flown over my house, but other than that, no, they have not been in my home.
Are you concerned at all? I mean, are you in fear? Are you afraid at all?
No, I am not. Yes.
You mentioned in this incident that it was Ryan Bundy that was also shot in the arm.
Yes.
Do you know if the Bundys are bringing forth a suit, or are they working together with you in this?
I can't speak for the Bundys and what they're planning on doing, but in my civil case, no, that will be just from our family.
Out of curiosity,
yes.
Have you been in contact with the Bundy family since it was released yesterday?
Yes, we're on daily contact. We connect with each other. We're very good friends.
What's their general thoughts on that? I know you don't want to speak for them,
yes.
but what are they feeling about it?
Pretty much the same as we do, yeah. I just don't want to go further into that because I'd hate to speak for them.
Did your husband actually own a 9mm handgun? Did that look like that's something that was his personally?
That was a gift to him from my son at Christmas.
So that was his gun? That was in his pocket?
I can't comment on that because I haven't seen that yet. So I'll have to wait to see. And I don't know that it was in his pocket either.
So, Jeanette, you weren't contacted at all prior to their announcement yesterday of that investigation? They didn't?
No, they didn't personally contact me, no. No. Yes?
About Ryan Bundy, there's not a lot written in the news about that. Do you have any more information about what happened, who is taking responsibility for shooting him? Because anything that I've seen in the news is basically 3 shots that hit your husband. Is there anything brought?
That's what I find very curious. In their statement yesterday, they account for all these different shots, yet they have not attributed one of those bullets to Ryan Bundy's shoulder. And so I'm curious how many more shots were actually fired that they're not accounting for. So that's my question. I can't answer to what they may have said about Ryan Bundy, because I didn't hear anything in reference to him yesterday, and I only know what you know as far as that news conference goes.
So was he shot by 1 or more bullets?
1.
And do you agree with the assessment that your husband was shot only 3 times?
Yes.
Are you doing your own autopsy?
I already have, yes.
Okay. And you're not releasing?
Not at this time, yes.
Does anybody else have any more questions?
Unless there's something else you...